I'm speaking with Nubz from the band Lines of Loyalty. And now, can you just talk a little bit about how you guys got started? Because you're a fairly new band, so can you talk a little bit about how you guys got together? You're homegrown from Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is always cool to see.
Well, pretty much. I met the drummer Shane at an open mic. And I was sitting at open mic downtown Kenosha, and I heard someone playing some box drum, and it's called a cajon. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I have to work with this guy. So I was like, it's just something told me to work with him. So we got together, and he had a vision of meeting some crazy monster with crazy hair. And it just so happens to be I have, massive crazy hair. I have dreadlocks, down past the middle of my back. So that whole thing was like a connection from somewhere else or whatever. And what was cool is he was playing drums in a band that he met at a party, and they needed a guitar player. So I joined the band as a guitar player. I wasn't even a singer. It was a female-fronted band. Mm-hmm. And the band was called Mixed Company. So we ran with that for a while, different members and all that, and it just wasn't ours. It wasn't our band. We didn't come up with the name. None of us were the original members. Rito Riani, he's the bass player. He's been in it the longest out of all of us. But we just felt we needed to change the name, and we needed to have something that was ours, and we needed it to have a lot of meaning to us. And we sat really hard with a lot of different things and came up with Lines of Loyalty, and here we are.
As a band, what would you say, some of your inspirations are? What are some of the bands that you guys look up to?
We all have a lot of different influences. Me personally, I get a lot of influences from bands like Seether, 3 Days Grace, Shinedown, Nonpoint is one of my favorites, Mudvayne, and Chad Gray's an amazing vocalist. All the bands I mentioned were amazing vocalists. Incubus is probably my top, though, because Brandon Boyd, I pretty much sing because of Brandon Boyd. That guy's got some pipes, man.
And coming up with your name, Lines of Loyalty, what was the inspiration behind that? Where did that come from?
So there's a couple things. One, I have the word loyalty tattooed across my face.
Okay.
I'm also a tattoo artist. I travel around the entire U.S. doing conventions. I tattoo at a shop in Racine, Wisconsin called Lost Soul Studio. Mm-hmm. And I've been working there for a while. I rent a space there, and I just won a couple awards at the Springfield convention just the other weekend. So I've been winning quite a few awards, and I got a lot of sponsorships through that too. So with that, I've always been loyal to what I do in my life, and that's why I got loyalty tattooed on my face. And then they're all like, well, that kind of fits everything in Lines of Loyalty. With tattooing lines, tattoo lines. Also, it could be taken as what's your line of loyalty? What are you true to? Mm-hmm. So it's got a couple meanings to it as well.
I want to talk a little bit about that single that you guys have out right now. I'm Not the One is the name of that one. Can you talk a little bit about your inspirations for that song and putting that song together?
Yeah, so, not knowing, if you were just to hear the song by itself, you would automatically probably gravitate towards a relationship. Mm-hmm. And most people do. There's a lot of people struggling with relationships or struggling, and not even an intimate relationship or a personal relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be just someone you met and you have a relationship with them in a different way. But just gaining, a different perspective. But when you watch the video, it's about battling my demons. And everyone has their own demons and their own problems, their own things they battle with. And the video kind of explains it and shows a lot of it with, battling your demons and two sides to everything, and the good and the bad.
Yeah, and I was watching that video as well. Can you talk a little bit about that, putting that together, where you shot it, and you had some cool makeup effects in there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so going into it, we rented a space in Chicago. Mm-hmm. We had someone referred to us, Scott Austin. He does pretty great videos out of Minnesota. So we contacted him. He came down. We rented a camera. We got some lighting. And the space had all kinds of different rooms, which was awesome. It was like a warehouse with different sections. And There was like cool lighting. There was a water misting thing we used in the video that was pretty awesome. And then like just figuring out the concept. So the band itself, like us as a band as a whole, whenever we're doing videos, we always kind of write a storyline, and we always like come up with at least some sort of blueprint written out, and then we make sure we try to follow those guidelines as much as possible. But sometimes we veer off and we think of something that, oh, this would be cool, right? So like, for instance, there was a part in the video where there's like a hole in the wall with the brick, and I'm like peeking through with my contacts in, and I'm like crawling through with my hands and stuff.
Yeah.
My drummer was walking past that. We were kind of packing some stuff up, and he was like, dude, put the light right here and shine this through here and do this. And we did it. And that part wasn't even scripted in the script, and we just did it because it was a good part for the storyline. And it just, you know, coming together with that. And we had a couple different lighting things, which our manager and our friend Crystal helped with some of the spark shooters in the background. It was funny because it's supposed to have a remote, and we didn't have the remote, so we had to have people hide behind stuff so you couldn't see them spraying up the sparks. They had to hold the buttons to spray the sparks up in the air, and it was kind of crazy, but it was fun. It was fun, you know. And Krista also helped with my makeup. We kind of based that around. Remember the movie Evil Dead?
Yep.
So remember how his face in that scene is like kind of, you know, like his eyebrows are really distinctive and his eyes are sunken in, and like that whole scene with the deer on the wall and everything. It was kind of going for that look of it. I mean, and she did great. And let me tell you, that stuff was not easy to take off your face. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And, you know, another thing I was going to kind of ask too, you know, obviously right now we're kind of in, or hopefully getting to the end of this pandemic here. With your song, I'm Not the One, did the pandemic have any kind of influence on that? Or did you already have that together once the pandemic hit?
To be honest, we already had that, you know, kind of not a problem. Like nothing was, you know, involved with that or anything. We were totally fine. We've actually been doing a lot of things. We're playing a lot of shows. We got a ton of shows coming up, and you know, everything's been going pretty smoothly actually.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. And I was going to ask you about that too, because I see that you do have some shows coming up. So it must be good to be able to get out there and play in front of crowds again. Yeah.
I mean, we got some pretty big ones. Just to drop some names of some bands we're playing with over the next few months. We're playing with Tantric.
Nice.
We got Puddle of Mud. We're doing, I believe we got a show July 3rd is Buck Cherry. We're playing Buck Cherry on July 3rd. We got, I think, Bad Flower as well. We're going to be joining. Some really great names, though. A lot of good stuff that's coming up.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's awesome.
And Saving Abel too. That was another one. I think that's in Illinois.
Yeah, those are some great bands. So that's must be awesome to be able to go out and tour with those guys.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool to be able to like just hit the road. You know, like we're planning hopefully get it all together. We're planning a tour towards the end of the year as well.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear. Good to hear. And, you know, another thing I wanted to ask, you know, as I dig the song, I'm Not the One, you know, we've been spinning it on our station. I really like this song. But
yeah, we greatly appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
Oh, of course. No problem. We always like highlighting bands and their stuff out there. But I will say that, you know, hearing that song has kind of left me hungry for more. Are there any albums or EPs on the horizon for you guys?
So that's definitely something in the works. We're actually going to record another single on April 2nd in a few days here. We're driving down and we're going to hang out with Chris Dawson, our producer. He's produced a lot of good stuff, man. He's also produced Saul and Any Given Sin and a lot of great other bands too. So those guys are great bands as well. I mean, they're all doing great and they all got great music putting out.
All right, excellent. That's good to hear. And I think just to kind of wrap up our interview here then this afternoon, if people would like to learn more about you, I assume they can go to the usual places to do that, Facebook, website, all that good stuff?
Yep, yeah, we got linesofloyalty.com. The merch store is up and running and active on there as well. We got a lot of cool stuff on there. Show dates, I believe, and the shows are all at the bottom. If you go to Lines of Loyalty on Instagram, if you go in our bio, there's a hyperlink. You click that link, it'll have everything from Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, the music video, all of it. So you can save it to your playlist, share it with everyone, and spread it out and keep it going.
All right, perfect. That sounds good. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your afternoon to speak with me. We'll keep spinning that I'm Not the One for you. And if you ever happen to get up Central Wisconsin way, let us know. We'd be happy to have you in the studio.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we can definitely set something up if you email our manager or something, or we can email you guys, and then we'll set some up and come in, maybe do an acoustic performance or something.